I'm about to embark on my 2.5-week Eurosummer trip, and flying Vegas to Paris, it's gonna be a long travel day, but it's gonna be worth it. Luckily, my first flight was departing in the afternoon, so I woke up, packed my things, and headed to the airport. I said goodbye to my parents because I'm not gonna see them for like a month, and once I checked in my bag and went past security, I headed over to the lounge. I love going to a lounge before a flight, and I didn't eat breakfast this morning, so I figured this would be my breakfast. I grabbed everything that looked good, so I pretty much grabbed a bite of everything. Whenever I'm at this lounge, I always get the asparagus and the mac and cheese. I just really like those two things, and then I also really enjoyed this taco that they had. Once I was well fed from the lounge food, I got onto my first flight. There's no direct flight from Vegas to Paris, so I made a stop in Minneapolis. I walked over to my gate and then I realized I was a little bit hungry, so I was glad that I grabbed something before I left the lounge. I grabbed this pretzel sandwich, so I quickly snacked on that before waiting for my plane to board. And sometimes I do like a layover because the walking around does help instead of just sitting on a plane for 15 hours straight. I then got onto my flight to Paris and they started off giving us these towels. It was a warm towel, so that was really nice. And then about an hour into our flight, they gave us our first meal. I got the 4-cheese pasta, and honestly with airplane food, it's a hit or miss for me, but this pasta was actually pretty good. It was super cheesy. I love when airplanes give Tillamook cheese because it's one of the best cheeses to snack on, and I appreciate they gave this little water because I needed to stay hydrated. They also gave these crackers, which I really enjoyed, but it was so much better when I paired it with the cheese. You can tell I'm ready for Europe because cheese and crackers are such a staple there. After I ate my meal, I watched a little bit of Love is Blind and then passed out before they gave our second meal around an hour before we were landing. It was a little bit cold, so I grabbed a cup of hot chocolate. Again, they provided some Tillamook cheese, my favorite. They also gave this yogurt drink, which I really enjoyed because it was very vanilla-y. And also in this breakfast pack they had some orange juice, some bread, and some jam. Once I landed, I grabbed my things and waited for my friends before heading off to get some pho. And you know, I may be in Europe, but I love my Asian food, and a bowl of pho always hits hard, especially after a long travel day. We then went to Mika for a sweet treat. I heard that there's sometimes a really long line for this, so I'm glad I got to try it out. And I just love wandering the streets of Paris, so that's exactly what we did. We had a little bit of wine by the river, we watched the Eiffel Tower sparkle, and we're in Paris, so we ended the night getting some crepes. I'm super excited to take you along my Eurosummer trip.